Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mike Kollin at MikeKollin.com. Okay, so what this video is going to be about is you get to choose the meaning to life for you. You get to choose your rules, your beliefs, your values, and even your strategies that you choose to live by. And that is emotional freedom. When you have emotional freedom, you get to choose all of that. So what this video is going to be about overall is giving meaning to life. What a lot of people don't understand is they think, well, what's the meaning of life? And the surprising answer is what you give to it. What's happening is we are shifting from the external world into the internal world to create our own external world. Okay, so before I go any further, I am asking for some donations for Sheena Marie in the Philippines. She needs to get some medication. I just had my second surgery after my second accident, so I'm been a little bit tight lately, obviously not being able to work as much as I would like. So if we could get her $30 or more, that would be awesome. So if you could donate 5, 10, 15, 20 bucks to my PayPal link, there's a PayPal link right there in the description box right below this video. Just click the button. I think it's a little blue more button. So let's go back to what I was talking about, the internal and the external. Everything comes down to very simple patterns. Now, I'm not going to go into detail, but the first person who really pointed this out to me was a football coach I had in high school who I reconnected with in college. He was a coach there, and he's also a PE teacher. And during weightlifting, I was talking to him. He goes, well, Michael, haven't you noticed that everything, math, science, football, everything comes down to like literally 1, 2, at most 3 extremely simple patterns. I'm like, what are you talking about? Because at the time, I just thought everything was so complicated, especially football and math and science and everything. So I said, haven't you really dedicated yourself to something? And as you went, year after year after year, things started to become simple. I thought, yeah, in boxing, it definitely became simple, and kickboxing, and even football. At that point in time, see, when I first started football, I was so, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. Finally, coach goes, just hit someone. I was like, all right, coach. And that's how I led my football career the first couple of years. I didn't know the plays. I didn't understand the concept of football. I didn't even understand the goal. How do you win? What's the purpose? What are we supposed to do? Okay, I'll give you an example. When I was a kid, there was another kid who was older than us, and he tried to act like he was smarter, but he was like 5 grades ahead of us, and he would always play games with us that he'd been playing for years, and it was brand new to us. And he'd say, oh, look, I'm so smart, I'm beating all of you. I'm like, well, yeah, you're freaking older, you have 5 years experience on us. So there's a game called Risk. And I didn't know how to play it. I played it one time, and I didn't get it. I didn't understand, I read the rules, but I remember just going, it was just one big scrambled map of, different countries, Russia, China, Europe, the United States, and I didn't get the purpose, I didn't get the concept. So I think I played once with my friends, and then a month later, their older brother came down and said, hey, let's play Risk. So I played one game. I think 4 of us played together. And they're like, let's do it again. I'm like, well, I don't want to. They're like, why? I'm like, I don't get it. It's boring. I don't understand. And I go, what's the concept? And they're like, well, you're supposed to win. I'm like, how? I don't, what? How do you win? I didn't even understand, what was the goal? And because of that, I struggled. I lost, and it was complicated. So we played one more game. I lost, and I didn't want to play again. But they were really urging me because I got better that time, and I almost beat the older kid. And the other kid was, come on, man, come on. He was egging me on. And I was like, I don't get it. And I yelled it out. I go, what's the purpose? What are we doing? What's the goal? And they're like, to win. I go, how do you know if you win? And they go, you have to take over all the countries. I'm like, all of them? See, that's what I did. I thought you just had to, is it 50%, 51%, 60, 75? I didn't get it. And they're like, no, you have to win all of the countries. I'm like, I was like, like all of a sudden, boom, I got it. I played the next game and I beat everyone, and I beat the older kid, and that older kid took the board and he flipped it upside down. He was furious. So here's the deal. It was a really simple concept. Like, you have to win every single country. And once I understood that, I was like, oh shit, this is simple. So we played again, just me and him head to head, and I beat him again, and he never played me again. Once you understand the pattern, everything comes down to a really, really simple pattern. I'm going to tell you something right now. Every one of my courses, everything I do in energy healing comes down to one concept. Just one. That's it. Internal and external energy. Internal and external awareness. Internal and external communication. Internal and external processing. It's the same thing. I do one thing. That's it. That's why I can apply it to everything I do in life, and it works successfully everywhere. Because this is the pattern of the universe, literally. You breathe in, you breathe out. You breathe internal, you breathe external. You have the internal right brain, you have the external left brain. You receive information, you put information out. You have an external eye and a receiving eye. Everything you do, even your heart, it pulls blood in, it pushes blood out. Internal blood, external blood. Your kitchen sink, the water comes in and then it goes out. Food comes into your body and then it goes out. Fluid comes into your body and then it goes out. Everything you do in life is internal and external energy. When you understand this concept, it's as simple as breathing in and breathing out. I remember one time I was really practicing being receiving, really working on my internal awareness energy. I was talking to a Buddhist monk in a temple, and he was talking, and then he stopped, and I was just sitting there staring at him. He goes, Mike, communication's the same thing. He goes, you receive communication, and now it's your turn to give communication. I was like, oh. So when I was working at this, a lot of people look at me like, well, why aren't you talking? Like, I thought I was weird, because most men talk too much. And I had to really work on learning how to receive without thinking, and receive fully and completely. It changed my life. But then I had to understand the timing of when to speak and when to receive. So here's the deal. A lot of you wonder, well, what's my purpose in life? What's the meaning to life? What you give is the meaning to life. What you choose to believe, what you choose to give meaning to. See, a lot of people spend years and years going to Tony Robbins seminars and reading all these books and going to college and studying history and studying the great artists and the great, poetry writers and authors and all these people looking for the meaning to life. Well, it turns out the meaning to life is what you choose to give it. The meaning of life is what you choose life means to you. See, the problem is we live in the Western world is the external world, and we've done a lot of great things like Western science, especially emergency room medicine is phenomenal. People from Eastern countries, Japan, etc., they come over and they study from us. That is just a very historical thing for the last 30, 40 plus years. So do not think I'm saying, oh, so external bad and only internal. No, it's like breathing in and holding your breath. You're going to frickin' die. It's both. Both are phenomenal. The most phenomenal part is when you learn how to use them together synergistically, like the yin and yang symbol. You got the two things like going in a circle. It's actually not a circle. It's actually going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. You breathe in, you breathe out. Your heart pumps blood in and it pushes blood out. So it's not like you're only supposed to be spiritual. You're in the physical world for a reason. You're supposed to combine the two together as one. The Western myth that we live by in Western countries is that everything's external and anything internal is unimportant because that's how they control you. Here I come along. I'm a what's the word? A cog in the wheel. I'm like a broomstick in the front wheel of a bicycle. I come along and say, hey, I want to teach you how to think for yourself. I want to teach you how to find happiness, and it's outside of what they taught you. Most people are so conditioned to just like, well, what am I supposed to do? How do I fit in? What's the purpose of life? They're looking for like, not just for themselves, but what is the purpose for everyone's life? It's not. There's no such thing as a purpose for everyone's life, or even 50% or the majority of people. It's like everyone's purpose is completely individual. Okay, I went through this huge, massive spiritual awakening. What most people are going through now, I don't think is actually a spiritual awakening. I think it's a tower moment that is an epiphany of a situation of a, hold on, let me try to think about the right word. In other words, you go through this dark tower moment, everything collapses around you and you fall apart, you cry and you're sad for 6 months, 9 months, or however long, could be 3 months. And then you have these realizations about an issue in your life. That is not a spiritual awakening. It's a huge awakening on the issue, which seems like a spiritual awakening. But when you have a true spiritual awakening, your whole world gets rocked. So here's one of the things that happened. I remember one day I walked out in the morning and I was watching everyone just run out the door, get in their trucks, go to work. And I remember I could hear the highway, how fast the cars were going. It was Highway 80, by the way, in California, near Vacaville, Sacramento area. And I was thinking, all those people were racing off to Sacramento and San Francisco and the Bay Area. And they were just rushing off to work desperately to get to work, to make that money. And I remember realizing, and I went and walked out on the corner of the street and I was watching people just so focused, laser beam, looking down the road. There could be somebody getting murdered on the sidewalk 10 feet from their freaking window and they wouldn't even see it. That's how focused they were. And it was just so bizarre to me, like, why? Like what is this madness? And it is a madness. And it's a cultural madness. It's a form of hypnosis. So I'm thinking things in reality. So I'm thinking, if I was a business owner, how do I know my workers are going to show up on time to get the job done? Now, I was waiting for my buddy Greg. He was a sheetrocker, and he wanted me to go to work with him so I could see what he does for work. And they paid me a lot of money, so it was kind of a great opportunity to have a new experience in life. And I think we did it for like 6 weeks or something. And I got the full, experience of what it's like to be a sheetrocker and how much they yell at each other and blah blah blah. But I remember when I got in the truck, he goes, "What's going on with you?" Because he could tell I was in a different world. And I go, "Dude, like, how do these owners know that these workers are going to get up every fucking morning and show?" Because for sheetrocking, everyone has to show up. You have to get the job done in a certain amount of time because it's always in a contract, a time and a date. Now, Greg owned a house. He owned 2 cars. He owned a jet ski. And he had monthly payments on all these things. He goes, "Well, Mike, if you owned all this stuff like I did," he goes, you would have a high motivation to get up and go to work and make your monthly payments, because otherwise you're going to lose your fun things. And I said, "Is it really that simple?" He goes, "Honestly," he goes, "for most people, it is." He goes, "That's how the owners know they're going to show up." Whereas my importance and values really is about love. I mean, that's my number one value. Love, helping people, making a difference in people's lives, healing people. That's always been the most important thing in the world to my life, is making a difference in other people's lives and helping them. Now, here's the deal. When I went through this spiritual awakening, it was like a brand new world shifted into my life. Like, I remember the first day I woke up, I looked around my bedroom and I walked around my apartment, my living room, and I'm looking around going, what? And like, everything was different. Everything looked different. The lighting was different. The colors were different. I looked outside the window and I walked outside, and this awakening lasted for 6 months. It was a trip. It was amazing. So I was going through this period of, because pretty much before this, underneath was love. Love was always important. I wanted to make my coaches happy. I wanted to help my teammates win. But I wasn't conscious of what was motivating me. Whereas a lot of people, it's about money and things and how I look to other people. And that's why I remember, because I have to be honest with you, I really couldn't relate to other people. Like, why is it so important for you to have the newest car, the newest BMW, the newest Tesla, the newest business suit, the newest... I just never understood the concept. It didn't really relate to me. Whereas most people, that's where they live. So I'm having this conscious experience of watching all those people day after day after day after day do work and jobs they absolutely hated. They weren't willing to even lift a finger to take a class, to read a book, anything to shift their life into what makes them happy. And I couldn't the concept was just mind-boggling to me. So I went through this phase of like, well, what the hell, if it's not money, if it's not things, if it's not, paying for things, like, well, what's it all about? So I went through this, I felt lost. Like, what's the meaning of life? Why am I here? What's my purpose? What's my destiny? Let me tell you something, I was lost. When I say lost, I mean, I had no grasp on life. It's like the floor was slippery. Nothing made, here's what it was. On the one hand, I was in such peace. That 6 months, hands down, the most peaceful. It's like I probably could have walked on water, just never tried. My point being is, it was the most peaceful that I ever felt. The most, it's like, I know what it is now, like my awareness expanded, like I let go of my awareness and it just went out like a helium balloon floats up. You don't push it, you don't pull it, it just expands all on its own. That's what happened, because I wasn't trying to control it. I wasn't trying to do it. I just let go. And I started to be aware of everything around me, including my own values, my own beliefs, and everything. And there was just this like, so what's the... Okay, when I was talking about people chasing money, getting up at 6 in the morning, going down the highway 80 at literally 85 miles an hour, risking their lives, doing work they hated, I'm like, for what purpose? Like, I was lost. It just seemed so completely meaningless to me. Everything was meaningless. And I mean everything. It was... I'm trying to find the right words to explain it. But it was like everything was nothingness to me. At the time, it kind of seemed like there's no reason to be here. There's no... I'm telling you guys, this was a deep experience. There was just like, and I even asked my friend, so why are we here? And he was like, what do you mean, why are we here? He goes, what are you talking about? Like, these concepts he wasn't ready for. So there was, even though this was an amazing experience, there was this sense of being lost. And I don't mean in a good way. It wasn't necessarily bad, but it was just like, I couldn't get a grasp on anything. I didn't have a direction. For the first time in my life, I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know why I was doing it. Like, everything seemed meaningless. Now, here's the thing that I realized, because part of the awakening is every day you learn something, like really learn something on a deep, deep level. And this hit me hard, because one of the lessons was, because everything is meaningless. There is no meaning to life, period. Now, this realization didn't go over easy or didn't go over well with me at all. I cried, and I mean, I cried, poured tears out of my eyes for weeks, even probably months. It was more than a month. I don't remember exactly how long it was, but it was just, nothing was worthwhile. Nothing was anything. I realized there was no purpose to do anything. There was no purpose to work, to learn, to develop, to grow. There was just, you see, because we all think there's this ultimate God-given purpose and destiny. No, there's not. So essentially, I walked around, I went to work, I took classes, and I had just this blank, like long lost look in my eyes. And boy, did I understand that whole church song, once was lost, now I'm found. Well, I was lost. I never understood the concept of being lost, because I always had a very, very powerful, strong direction in life. I knew what I wanted to do. I knew where I was going. I knew what I had to do. I knew what I had to do to make it happen, to get it. And at this point, I was like, yeah, for what purpose? So, there is no reason. Now, here's the thing, though. There is an actual answer. And it did come to me. And it was an amazing answer. And yet at first, it wasn't, I don't know what the right word is. It wasn't fulfilling. It wasn't satisfying. It was almost an empty answer. At least it seemed in the beginning. Now, when it was first revealed to me, I was kind of in awe, but at the same time, it still seemed empty. And here's the answer. I'm going to give you the answer. There is a good ending to this. You literally get to pick and choose what's important to you in life. You get to give meaning to your life. You get to give meaning to life. Now, it sounded good, kind of, but it really went against my Western conditioning. Well, the meaning is this, the meaning is that. The meaning of life is, God, country, family, wife, children, whatever. And for a lot of people, it's like making more money than other people and having a bigger Mercedes-Benz than your neighbor. So I always thought this external Western thought of, well, what is it supposed to be, society? Tell me, society. And what is the meaning of life for the entire world? That's an external way of looking at it. The internal way of looking at it is whatever you choose. Now, it didn't sit well with me. I kind of liked it because it was better than there is no meaning. Okay, that sucked. But the idea of giving meaning to life by myself was just like, well, it's kind of empty. It just really felt empty for the longest time. In fact, right now, you're probably going, no, I don't know, I don't like that. Yeah, because you're so conditioned into thinking, like, what is the group majority? What do we think? What's the word that people are using now on YouTube? The collective. Oh, well, the collective this and the collective that. Like we're all... See, it's funny because, a lot of people that do these YouTube videos and stuff now, it's kind of like we're pulling away from the church, we're pulling away from society, and yet we're starting to create our own, the collective, what we think. So on the one hand, you're pulled away because you don't want to think what your church thinks or what that church thinks or what that group thinks or that group, and yet now you're starting to think in terms of, we got to create now we're going to call it collective instead. I don't give a shit if you call it collective, church, group, or society. It's the same concept. You're just recreating the same thing that you were running away from. So one of the teachings, in fact, this was the very, very last teaching. See, every night when I went to sleep, it was a classroom. It was like I would wake up in this kind of different world. It was basically blank, but you're there, and the teacher would show up. It wasn't a being, you didn't see anything. It would just be like, kind of like you're looking off in space, and all of a sudden space became like a chalkboard, and it would begin to draw symbols and figures and stuff. And at the very end of it, it did this rectangle. Like with almost like white chalk. In fact, it was white, and it was blank. It was empty. And I remember I sat there for probably 20 minutes, going, "Okay, like what is this?" So one of the things about the teaching, it was very symbolic. It wasn't done with words or even like typed letters or anything. If it did, it was like one phrase or one word, but it was just symbolic. And then I was like, oh, I get it. The left side is the alpha, the right side is the omega, the beginning and the ending, and the rectangle is representing like this space that is for us. But I'm kind of like, well, what is it? And then right when I thought that, all these little white streaks went inside this rectangle. And I'm like, well, what is that? And I go, oh, those are falling angels. That's us. Those are spirits that are coming into this dimension. Now, as I was looking at that, it was a very two-dimensional thing. It was length and width, and that's all it was. And I thought, it didn't make sense. And the minute I thought that, in the lower left-hand side, the lower left-hand corner, down below it, a little bit farther, almost at a perfect 45-degree angle, this little light thing was coming up. I don't know how to explain it. And the minute it hit the corner, it was like a match that went, and it sparked it, and also all these colors and vibrancies and sounds and the five senses filled up this rectangle. And all of a sudden, like, oh, I get it. This is the third dimension, the alpha, the omega, the beginning. This is time. This is the beginning. This is the end. This is the third dimension. This is the five senses. And then it hit me. This thing we called life was created, like literally created for us to experience. It dawned on me, this was not something we were supposed to be punished about. This whole thing called life was not supposed to be about right or wrong. That's the illusion. That's the trick. That's the lie. That's what I take people out of. And when you finally pop out of that, you can be like, holy shit. They've been brainwashing me this whole time to think like, ooh, step on a crack, break your teacher's back. Now you're in trouble. You did something wrong. Feel guilty. Feel shame. When you realize life was never supposed to be that. And you realize, and here's the phrase that popped into my head. Life is a gift that was meant to be enjoyed from God. Life is literally a gift from God. This whole thing was just meant to be something to be experienced. It didn't matter what your experience was. Some people came to explore the ocean. Some people came to learn how to knit. Some people like, well, hey, let's make an airplane. Everyone was like, what do you want? I'm going to be a gold miner. I'm going to be a football player. I'm going to do, literally like in kindergarten. What are you going to be when you grow up? Life is literally a space for you to do what you want. So my question to you is, what do you want to do? What do you want to be? What do you want life's purpose to be to you? What is your purpose for life? You get to choose it. What is meaningful to you? What is the meaning of life to you? Is life a dance? Is life a challenge? Is life a curiosity? Is life creativity? What is life to you? Life is a gift. Is life an adventure? Whatever makes you the happiest, here's another one. Whatever helps you get the most out of life. That's what's most important to me, getting the most. And I think a lot of you come to this channel is you feel like life has been taken away from you. Like, because you were punished for whatever your meaning of life. Oh, that's wrong. Oh, that's bad. Oh, you're stupid. No, life's supposed to be this over here. Otherwise, you're going to go to hell. We are all here for different reasons and different purposes. Some people are here just to heal. Their entire lifetime in this lifetime is just to heal. They're here to heal mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. Some people are to create. Some people are going to be artists. Some people want to learn about energy. Some people want to be a doctor or a surgeon. There is no right or wrong. There is no good or bad. What do you want to be? What do you want to do? What do you want to make your life about? That's what it's about. You give meaning to life. The meaning of life is what you choose it to be. And how you know is because it comes from your heart. It comes from your soul. You can feel it in your body. It's like something you have to do. You can't stop. This is what you were meant to do. This is what's most meaningful to you. Anything that's holding you back from mental beliefs to decisions to what people told you and beat into you. You might have to do some therapy, you might have to heal it, but sometimes just from learning this, that everything is what you give to it and what it is to you, a lot of people pop open and they start going after it. If you need any help on a therapeutic level to clear issues, clear childhood issues, beliefs, decisions that have held you back, that are holding you back from your life, your purpose, your meaning, get a hold of me. You can go to mike@mikekollin.com. You can also call me at 415-235-2512. It's not a matter of me telling you what to do. It's a matter of clearing the blockages that are keeping you from what you want to be and what you want to experience in life. That's it, guys. If you want to support this channel, you can buy my dating relationship coaching books for men or women. You can hire me for coaching, energy healing, emotional healing. You can also buy my dating relationship coaching books for men and women. And you can also make a donation. There's a PayPal link right there. In the description box right beneath this video, you got to click that little button. I think it's a more button, and it'll open up a drop box, and it'll be right there. That's it, guys. God bless you. See you in the next video. I hope this video opened your eyes. Peace.